Ever get that, like, totally creeped out feeling when a story just gets under your skin?
Yeah, like it's sticking with you even after you're done hearing it.
Totally. That's folk horror for me. It reminds us that maybe, just maybe, some traditions should stay buried. And get this, today's deep dive is about a real-life case from 1920s Pennsylvania.
Ooh, okay, I'm already hooked. What's the story?
It's called the Hex Murder of York County, and let me tell you, it blurs the line between superstition and true crime like you wouldn't believe.
1920s, you said.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. Okay, so we're talking about a time and place where folklore wasn't just something you read in a book, right? It was life.
Exactly. Picture rural Pennsylvania. Think rolling farmlands, close-knit communities, and a way of life deeply rooted in tradition.
And in these isolated communities, word of mouth, legends, and superstitions, they spread like wildfire.
And sometimes those superstitions could turn deadly. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of this hex murder, we got to talk about powwow. It's not exactly a household name today.
Right, now unless you're into like history or folklore.
Exactly. So what was powwow and what was it used for in this community?
Think of it as a blend of Christianity and folk remedies, passed down through generations. It was woven into the fabric of everyday life.
So if someone got sick?
They might turn to a powwow practitioner for healing instead of, say, a doctor.
Well, and they truly believed in its power.
Absolutely. It wasn't just about healing either. Farmers might use powwow to ensure a good harvest or protect their livestock.
Okay, so now we've got the scene set. Rural Pennsylvania, a community steeped in tradition, and a belief in powwow magic. And this is where we meet Nelson Redmeyer, a farmer who also practiced powwow.
He wasn't some, like, stereotypical Hollywood witch, though. To his neighbors, he was just a part of the community, someone with knowledge that could be helpful, sometimes.
But of course, every story has its villain. Enter John Blymeyer.
Ah, so this is where things take a dark turn.
Big time. See, Blymeyer was convinced that he was cursed, and that Redmeyer was the one behind it. We're talking plagued by bad luck, misfortune following him everywhere.
And in his desperation, he turned to a local woman known for dabbling in the supernatural. Imagine being so desperate that you'd put all your faith in someone like that.
Right. Talk about a recipe for disaster. This woman convinced Blymeyer that the only way to break the curse was to get his hands on Redmeyer's spell book and a lock of his hair.
Hold on, a spell book. Did they ever find it?
That's the thing. No one knows if it ever actually existed or if it was all in Blymeyer's head. But that belief, real or imagined, was so strong that it drove him to do the unthinkable.
He didn't. He didn't hurt Redmeyer, did he?
He did. Blymeyer, along with two others, broke into Redmeyer's home and murdered him.
This is awful. Just awful. And to think it all started with a curse, or at least the belief in one.
It really makes you think about the power of belief, especially in a place where isolation and tradition reign supreme.
It's like a real-life folk horror story, isn't it?
Totally. You've got the isolated rural setting, the clash between ancient beliefs and the modern world, and a healthy dose of the uncanny. This case has it all. It reminds me of that classic folk horror film, The Wicker Man, where outsiders stumble into these secluded communities with their own strange rituals and beliefs.
Oh, I see it. And in this case, that clash between the outsider Blymeyer, so convinced of the curse in the community, steeped in these traditions, turned deadly.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, did the isolation, the reliance on these age-old traditions, did it make their beliefs even more powerful, more dangerous?
Right. Was Blymeyer truly cursed, or did that belief, fueled by the isolation, the whispers, the weight of tradition, did it create the conditions for this tragedy?
It's a chilling thought. And the story gets even weirder when you consider the trial.
How so?
Well, here you have a modern courtroom, the very embodiment of logic and reason, trying to make sense of a crime fueled by ancient superstitions and a supposed curse.
Wow, talk about a clash of worlds. So what happened? Did Blymeyer get off by claiming the curse made him do it?
He was found guilty. But the trial itself highlighted this incredible cultural divide. On one hand, you have the modern legal system focused on evidence and proof, and on the other, you have a community clinging to their beliefs, beliefs that simply couldn't be explained or proven in a court of law.
That's fascinating. It makes you wonder, does the absence of a tangible spell book, something concrete, make Blymeyer's belief and the horrific actions it inspired any less real?
That's such a haunting question. And it's a question that lingers long after the trial is over. It makes you wonder, are we so different today?
Right. We might not believe in curses or hexes in the same way, but Think about it. We have our own modern superstitions, our own fears and anxieties that shape the way we see the world.
Totally. We love true crime, we binge watch paranormal documentaries, and who hasn't knocked on wood for good luck?
It makes you wonder what seemingly harmless beliefs exist in our world today that could, under the right circumstances, lead to unintended consequences.
Something to think about, right? The Hex Murder of York County, a stark reminder that sometimes reality can be stranger and scarier than fiction.